Welcome back to Ritual Hobby and Art. If you had watched one of my videos about a couple months ago, I had shared with you three of the uGears boxes that I have. The treasure box, the antique box, and the safe. Well, I didn't really make mention of this one. This is Book of Secrets. I think it came out in the last year or two. And so I wanted to share with you this one, which I just recently got off of Amazon for about $63. Before tax. It's kind of interesting. It still has the gears and that sort of thing, but there's some other stuff going on with it. So it definitely of some interest. This is the way it appears when you get it in a box. And so let's take a look at it. This is not an assembly video, but I did want to share with you what it looks like if anyone was interested in getting it. So you've got some packing material. Packet here. Looks like everything. Put that to the side. This is probably, I don't know what it is. We'll find out. Okay. Oh, some springs. Intriguing. Here's a candle. Candle wax comes with it. Some sandpaper. Make sure there's nothing under this. Okay. So this is some of the items comes with it. And then these are the sheets. There are about, let's see, 6. There are 6 sheets. Now some of them are dark colored, which is different than the normal ones. See, they're already coming apart. And then you got the rest of them, except for this one. This is also dark colored. So all the pieces are in here, and there is an instruction booklet. Shows you how detailed how to do it. It is probably primarily in Ukrainian, but the images are such that you should be able to figure it out if you're into building these types of things. So this is the way it looks when it comes out of the box, and this is the way it looks assembled. It's a nice box, pretty good size. There is a lot going on in it, as I found out as I made it. So it's a really cool box. The gears on this side are not part of the active works of this, but I do show an additional part of this video where I show how to put them on and some tips on doing that. Otherwise, most of the main gears are here. There is a pretty good amount of space inside. And so next I'll show you how it works, how you get into the box. So there's actually 2 different things you have to do to get into the box, as I found out. You open it here, but if it's closed or locked, this isn't going to do anything. So that kind of stays there. You have to be able to unlock this with a key. And the only way to get to that key is through a combination here. And so they give you the option of making your own combination. You can use just a simple 000, or you can come up with your own. But for this one, it was very easy to make your own, so I did that. Shows enter code, and in here you can see possibly that there's a lock function. It's either lock or unlock. So let's go ahead and put in our code. And you can change the code later if you want to. There's nothing that says it's going to be that all the time. Okay, so there is my code. And then this part here, you push. Push that, and out pops your key. Key comes out. So then you add it also, let's see. When you push that in on this little indicator, it shows an unlock. So take your key, put it into the keyhole. It shows a little key function here. You turn it the correct direction, and it shows book. And that means it's ready to open. Hit your open here, and you notice here it says closed. Now it says open, and the book opens. And it's got a sufficient amount of room inside. Now, if you want to change the password, you just pull this thing out. This is what kind of holds the tumblers in place. So you pull that out. I'm not planning to ever do that, but in case I do want to do it, I can easily pull this out and change the numbers. And of course, and an additional feature that's interesting is there's a backup key inside, I guess, if you lose your original key. But the way the key is kept firmly inside the package, kind of a sequential discovery if you're a puzzler like I am, where you solve a puzzle and you find tools along the way. Having that key kept in the spine of the book is kind of a neat feature. And so, but there is a backup there in case you have an issue. One additional interesting item, there's this thing here, and you think, I assumed that this jam went through and locked in here, but actually the locking pieces are these two end pieces that fit up under in holes on either side. And that's what locks your puzzle in place. So at this point, I'm getting towards the end of making this book. And this part here is probably a back decorative panel. But I will share some things with you that I found helpful in making this. For instance, when you're done with a sheet, this pops out of one of these sheets. And some of these cutouts were actually components like this right here, and it could be confusing whether you were done with it or not. So what I was doing was taking things like this and throwing it in a special container, and so not putting them in the trash can, putting them in a special container in case I needed them later. Another thing to note is this is the tool that came with the piece, and you see it's got sort of a forked end. And I was kind of not really sure what that is until you got to this point. It was actually for inserting these things. So it was very helpful for me not to use this as a pry bar or something, because it did have a purpose for putting these things in place. They're little studs. In putting these in, you do have to be sure that, you know, when they touch each other, this is a decoration. They're not, I don't think, actually meant to move, because these posts are not round. So this wheel actually fits on 4 posts and connects to this one. So this one had to go in first, and this one went in second. What I'm going to show you is sometimes it was difficult to get things onto the post, and getting them lined up and that sort of thing, or it would push the post right out the back. You can see it's got a little piece of the wood coming up here, and so for me, and others could use this as well, I would use a clamp that I had for woodworking to help me out. So let's say this one here, just give it a little squeeze, enough to get it in place. This would be about the same thing, one of these. So if we get that into place like so, there we go. Sometimes they pop in, but I can feel this one's going right back out the other side. So rather than struggle with that, I'm using this to give it a good even pressure. There it is. It's in place. It's come out a little bit, but not as much as like all the way out. And so same thing up here. That's why it's good to have one in place, because all the others are going to have to fit intermingled with it. Oh, and that went right out the back. So again, use give it a little pressure. Don't want to give it too much pressure and crack the surrounding assembly, but there. Got it in. Additionally, sometimes, for me at least, some of the instructions are very helpful, very useful, but there are times when, like for this one, figuring out where things go, especially exactly, I would use these, this is an Optivisor that I had. Mainly I got it for doing museum conservation, very fine detail work, but it It works for this too. So do reading glasses, but I found this is a little sharper than just basic reading glasses. So, and it's something you can use for a lot of different projects, not just putting together a uGears model. It has a lot of other uses. So that's the Book of Secrets completed. I'm not sure what I'm going to keep in here long term, but I think for now I'm going to stick these John Deere collectible playing cards in, which I'm going to feature in a video this summer. So we close that up, put this back into the closed position, use our key, move this back into place so it's locked. And as I said, you can't open it when it's locked. And we take our key, stick it in the end, push that into place. It's locked in there. And we just change our code back to something different. Any arrangement of numbers, because it changes the tumblers on the central piece. So you can't, when it's like this, you can't push this. It's got a little give, but not the appropriate amount. So that's the Book of Secrets. Thanks for watching.